I am still in Londrina, and if you're a regular viewer, you'll go, Stu's had a shave. And what's that? He's had a haircut as well. That's right. My monthly money has gone into my bank account. And because of that, yesterday morning I went to the dentist. But why Brazil? And why Londrina? So this is the city centre, and I was originally just going to do the video in the hotel room that I'm staying in. £14 a night with a free breakfast. But I thought it'd be more interesting to have a walk around and see what it's like on a Saturday afternoon. And you can see it's very quiet. This morning, oh my god, it was packed. So to give you a recap, especially if you're new to the channel, I've been travelling around South America for the last nearly 5 months, and in that time I've had a broken tooth just there, and it's never really hurt me. I get a bit of ache every now and then, but nothing serious. So the first dentist I went to was in Argentina. I went in and asked if I could have a consultation for them to check it out and an x-ray. The dentist looked at my mouth for about 15-20 seconds, told me that there was no problems if it didn't hurt, but then looked at one of my wisdom teeth, this one right at the top, at the back, and went, that's inflamed, it needs to come out. And that was without any x-rays. And so I just went, oh, okay. So it was taken out, and the broken tooth was just left alone. I then went to Paraguay to a dentist, and again asked for x-ray consultation. They told me that it needed extracting, again without any x-rays, but more importantly I needed to get blood tests, and the blood test was separate from any costs. And I just went, oh, too much effort, too much cost. So I'm now in Brazil. Now Londrina is a pretty big city. In the centre itself there is roughly about 10-20 dentists just in a small area. In fact, there's so much competition that I went past one about 2 hours ago, and the guy outside was going, free consultation, come in. Is that, oh, I've already been, sorry. So the one I went to, just round the corner from here, as I do with all my dentists, I checked on the reviews, I googled it to death, and like the one in Argentina, the one in Paraguay, it had really good reviews. Now, I went in, and this is not a scientific experiment, this is just my experience of going to dentists in 3 countries. So that's the one I went to, Dentista do Provo. Yesterday morning, 9 o'clock, went in, asked for a consultation, asked for an x-ray. The guy was so good. Within 10 minutes I had an x-ray. He sat me down and went through the whole of my teeth. First of all, he said, you have got severe plaque issues which will affect your gums. You've got a chipped tooth at the front. I haven't now. Because it's so thin at the very end, there's a chance that your chipped tooth will break even more. Okay, and then he looked at my broken tooth. Now this is the x-ray that he showed me. I'm not a dentist, I have no idea what I was looking at, but he pointed out all the different things that was wrong. He even pointed out stuff that will need to be looked at in about 6 months to a year. Now the broken tooth itself, if you're squeamish, look away now, but this is a photograph of it. He explained that there is a small hole in it which is attracting food particles, and that is where the dull eggs come from every now and again. He said if I take that tooth out, extract it, that means you'll have less teeth on one side because of the wisdom tooth gone. It is better to get an implant. Okay, so I'm not going to give away the cost right now. I'll leave that till the very end. So what happened then was I got led away because I just went, yeah, let's do it. I got taken to a treatment room where for 40 minutes, they scrubbed every single tooth. Oh my God. Some of it was quite painful, but they did a thorough job. Now I'm just going down one of these side streets because just to show you how many other dentists are around here. But all the plaque, there was bits of tartar, whatever that is, that was removed, and then I was led to another room where the chipped tooth was, well, as you can see, it looks normal. Especially if you look at older videos, you'll see it was quite damaged, and it feels like a normal tooth. And then it came to the main attraction, the broken tooth. It was extracted. Because it was broken so badly into the gums, it took a long time for it to be removed, taken out. Now with the implants, they tried 2 times to get a screw to go in. I didn't really know what was happening because I was too busy going while I had 2 dentists around me prodding and poking stuff into me. Right, I think down here is one of the dentists that stopped me, or just further up. So in that chair I was in for about 2 hours, and they kept reassuring me that it was okay, that they kept apologising for the pain. Dentists, you sort of get used to it. So yeah, but because of the fact the extraction had made the bone very soft, they couldn't put the implant in. So what happened then was they took me to another room and explained to me that they needed to do something because with the gap that was there, it would affect the other teeth, and I needed to keep that gap open. So they made a bridge. They built a tooth, put the bridge in, and it was natural. It didn't feel like it's broken. However, they realised that the stitches, hello, they realised the stitches were still in after the extraction. So I had to go back this morning, get the bridged tooth taken out, the stitches taken back out, and then a new bridged tooth put back in. So all in all, that was a lot of hours that they've done just to give me normal teeth. Now I'm out of breath because it's all uphill, I've just realised, and I need to get fit again. Well, let's wait until I get to the top. Right, I've got my breath back. It's not all uphill now, and that in front of me is the side of Londrina Cathedral. So dental tourism is getting bigger in countries like Thailand, Turkey, and regions like South America. And it's attracting people from countries where dental treatments are getting so expensive. So Western Europe, including England, where I'm from, and then you've got Australia, Canada, especially the USA. And I know when I did mention the fact that I was coming to Brazil the other day and said I was going to go and see a dentist, people say, well, try the free health service within Brazil. They'll look after you. Well, I did a lot of online research and they will look after you. If it's an emergency, if it's causing pain, if I turned up and said, a bit of an ache every now and again, they would have said, well, yeah, come back when it really hurts. So I didn't want to take the chance of embarrassing myself, and it is really quiet around here, isn't it? So that's why I didn't use the free health service. Plus, as a really nice guy, I don't want to take advantage of using something that Brazilian taxpayers pay for that I shouldn't really use unless it was an emergency. And then last night I went online and looked at the prices in UK of all the treatments I've had, including the one added on from today, and it would have come to, I can't give a ballpoint figure, but £800 to £2,000, depending on where I went to. That's expensive. So the price right here in Londrina, 2,000 Brazilian real, and that in British pounds is £294 as at today's exchange rate. Now think about it. If you divide all them procedures, you've got the consultation and x-ray, that's one part, and then divide it all up. I had 2 lots of bridging done. That's cheap. Now there'll be people watching this going, well, in my country, in my city, it's cheaper. However, I've only got a couple more weeks left before I head back to the UK, so I really needed to get it done now. And when you get a city like Londrina, who has got a high percentage of dentists right in the city centre, you know that they're all going to be competitive, especially when you've got one of them standing outside with someone saying, come in for a free consultation. I wish I knew that now. I've got a nice smile again. I've got a broken tooth that has gone. I've got clean teeth all the way around. I feel a bit more healthier. The only problem is I have got a bit of oh my god, that scared me. But I've got a bit of swelling here, which I got told, normal, you just had a tooth yanked out. So that's my experience of dental. In fact, that's the place there. That's where they had the guy standing outside saying, come and get free consultation. Especially when I said, oh, I'm English, and he said, come in. Sorry. So now that I've had the dental, I've had a haircut, I've had a shave, I am, in fact the hotel's that way, so I'm going to walk that way. I'm ready to head off. I have got 7 days worth of antibiotics and 7 days worth of ibuprofen, which is included in the price. So tomorrow morning I'm leaving. I've seen a lot of Londrina, and basically I was told by the dentist, today relax, don't do anything. and that's what I'm trying to do. But I thought I'd do this quick video to show you dental tourism in South America. Where am I going next? I don't know. I need to look at a map because all I've been concentrating on is my tooth. But I'm sure it's going to be amazing. Tomorrow's a Sunday, so it could be a bit quieter on the buses. But if you've enjoyed this video, then all you got to do is press that like button. If you've got any questions, ask away. And if you want to see where I'm going next, press that subscribe button. But until the next time, hotel's just there. Bye bye for now.